We are live. Yes, we are. Hello and welcome to Cricket Adda presents the Asia Cup preview. Joining me are the usual panelists. Advait Lachke, this time not from Ahmedabad but from Pune. Advait, how are you and why are you in Pune?
Sir, I guess the host of the show is no more in Pune. He's gone to USA, so I thought Pune must not feel that we are not going live from Pune, so I shifted to Pune, sir.
That's a great idea. I'm also I'm in a different place. I'm in the Cricket Adda office. As you can see, fantastic view with a big clock so that I don't get the timing wrong for a cricket match. And joining me is the man himself, the one and only, the MI fan, who was willing to buy 17% stake in the CSA T20 League MI team, but couldn't afford it. So at the moment, he's still with Cricket Adda. Joining us is Ninad Lakde. Ninad, how are you?
Hello, Shubham. Yeah, very good. Thanks.
If you could just put the mic near your yeah.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yeah, that's better. That's better. And joining us, the fourth panelist with a cat in his house. Incredible performance before we start the podcast. Nikhil Botnist, where are you right now?
Yeah, hi guys. I'm in Cleveland right now.
Which is the second name for Dubai. So we have sent him to Dubai to watch the Asia Cup as the Asia Cup starts in like an hour with Sri Lanka versus Afghanistan. Are you excited for the Asia Cup? I know it's not like a big cup, but still, four good teams: India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and even Afghanistan. I know Hong Kong is playing as well, but they're not the strongest team in New Cup. So let's see what happens. Ninad, what are your thoughts on the Asia Cup? How important it is, considering the T20 World Cup is coming up in like 1 month?
Yeah, it gives a really good platform for the teams to develop their combinations.
Ninat,
Almost
can you
all.
please bring the mic?
Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it gives a good platform for all the teams to bring in their best 11 and get their playing combos right. And as Shubham told, that a lot of top teams, India, Pakistan, and also Afghanistan, I would say, uh, they are also a team to look out for. So it's going to be a good, exciting competition.
Yeah, those people who have joined us on YouTube, I would request them that if they have any questions, please do leave it in the chat, and we will try and answer it. Nikhil, what's the weather in Dubai, and do you think all the matches will go without weather interruption?
I have no idea what the weather is. I hope all the matches go ahead. I think it's hot. I'm sure it's very hot right now.
I mean, when you don't know the weather in Dubai, you just guess that it's hot because it
Yeah.
is hot. Let's move on to the first match, which is the Sri Lanka versus Afghanistan game. And I think it would be a good game because Afghanistan is also a pretty good team in the T20 setup. They have the likes of Rashid Khan, Mujibur Rahman, the left arm who was with Sunrisers Hyderabad, left arm bowler, Fazlul Farooqui, Rahmanullah Gurbaz. Let's just look at their squad. If I can pull up their squad quickly on the screen and then discuss about it. I think this is the Sri Lanka squad. We'll just move it to the Afghanistan squad in a second. But talking about the sorry, yeah, this is the Afghanistan squad. Just zooming in here. Mohammad Nabi, the captain, as usual. Najibullah Zadran is the vice captain, and these are the other players. So, who are the key players for you, Advait? What are you looking at when you look at this Afghanistan squad?
The biggest advantage of Afghanistan squad is their spin. It has always
Yeah,
been the spin bowling because with the likes of Mohammad Nabi, Rashid Khan, Mujibur Rahman, I guess they are potentially one of the best spin lineups in the Asia Cups. I guess you can say
exactly.
even in the world. Even in the world, they would be considered as one of the most fearsome spin bowling lineup. Uh, and even their batting looks a bit better considering the growth of Afghanistan team. So yes, even the last time India played Afghanistan, Afghanistan almost, I guess, gave scares to India, but it was a 50 over match. So yes,
Yeah,
Afghanistan team is on the rise. So it should be a great contest considering even Sri Lanka beat Australia in ODI series recently. So yes, it
yeah,
should be a good contest today between Afghanistan and Sri
exactly.
Lanka.
Exactly, Nikhil. As Advait mentions, the spin is very, very good for the Afghanistan team. Not only that, the matches are at Dubai, which is one of their favorable grounds. And you saw in the T20 World Cup as well, they came close against Pakistan. They were very like competitive in the Dubai game. So, do you think that's a factor? Because Noor Ahmed is there as well, another leg spinner. You have Rashid Khan, obviously the legend, Mohammad Nabi, and then Mujibur Rahman. The spin will play a huge role, and I think they have the best spin attack, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree with that. As you said, Rashid Khan, Nabi, and Mujibur Rahman would definitely play. My only question is that how teams approach this tournament is also like they'll also have the World Cup in mind while
Yeah.
making their team selection. So I don't know how much heavy they'll go in for spin, considering that the World Cup is in Australia. They still might go with like three spinners
Mhm.
in Australia because, as Advait said, that's their like strong point. And then they have that Rahmanullah Gurbaz. He's done well
Yeah.
in those in T20 leagues. He's young as well, so he looks like an exciting player. Although they did lose a series. Was it to like Ireland or Netherlands or
Yeah,
Scotland?
yeah.
Yes,
Some
Ireland.
Ireland, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean that was disappointing. But again, if they were playing matches in Ireland, then I don't know how used they are to the conditions. Because playing matches in like Ireland, England is like completely opposite to what Afghanistan's strengths are. I
Exactly.
mean, yeah. So I mean, you've got like Fazaluk for Farouk is he looks good. He played a few matches for Sunrisers.
Mhm.
He bowls fast, but didn't see like anything special over there. He didn't bowl badly. I think over the tournament he did well, um, and he's done well in other T20 competitions as well. So so yeah, let's see. I mean, Afghanistan are always like a strong team. They're always a dark horse in any tournament because they've got all those exciting players Rashid Khan and Nabi and like they've got a lot of all rounders. It'll be interesting to see what role Rashid Khan plays, whether he has more responsibility at the bat because he's been showing that over the last few months. And I don't know if he's said this before that he wants to play a bigger role with the bat. He considers himself an all rounder. So yeah, interesting team. Always a dark horse in any
Yeah, you
tournament.
So
talked
to
about
Nikhil's point,
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess in the Ireland's series, Rashid wasn't the most effective one. If
Mhm.
I'm not wrong, he went wicketless in three matches. So it would be interesting to see how Rashid plays because yes, he plays quite better in BPL, but his attack form is not that great considering the Ireland series. So that might be a point of concern.
Yeah, but otherwise would agree with the Rashid Khan's batting perspective because
Yes.
he smashed Chris Jordan in that game against CSK, and Advait remembers it clearly. But moving on, suddenly 41 people are watching the live stream. I don't know how, but it's good news for us. And if you have any questions, please do leave us in the comment section or in the chat, and we will try and answer it because we are here to discuss about the Asia Cup. Moving on, Ninal, let's talk about the Sri Lankan team, and I think Advait mentioned that they have done really well against Australia. They won the ODI series. They won a Test match. They won a Test match against Pakistan, and all thanks to their bowlers and that guy in the second row is Dinesh Chandimal. Oh, what a guy! What a performance by him. He was in great form throughout that series. But apart from that, again, a team with fantastic spinners. One into Hasaranga, Mahesh Tikshna, Jeffrey Vandersay, three good spinners. One change they have is Dushmanta Chamira is ruled out of the squad, so that's something which needs to be changed in this squad. But apart from that, again, the spin department looks good, doesn't it, Nina?
Yeah, you take this team and you take the Afghanistan team that we discussed earlier, both of them
Yeah.
going for spin heavy bowling attacks, and there's an interesting dynamic to the group in which Sri Lanka is placed. So the thing is that see, you know that two of the three teams are going to go in the Super Four. right?
Yes.
So there's Sri Lanka, there's Bangladesh, and there's Afghanistan, and there's really no telling as to which team has an upper edge because they're all of the same level.
Yeah.
So the thing is that if one of these two teams go through, they can cause a major upset in the Super 4 because most of those games are going to play in Dubai, and we've seen in the IPL what the Dubai pitch does for spinners.
Yeah.
So we've seen like spin heavy teams like CSK, MS Dhoni using his spinners really well on the Dubai pitches. So yeah, the I see one of these teams probably causing a big upset as well in the Super 4. And looking at Sri Lanka's squad as well, they have a set of really good all-rounders there.
Mhm.
Dasun Shanaka, he is a really underrated player. He has that clean hitting ability. He can taunt those huge 90-meter sixes with ease. So there's him. There's obviously
Shamika Karunaratne and even Wanindu
yeah,
Asaranga bats well.
yeah. There's Hasaranga as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, this team has caused upsets recently, and I would, I could bet on them to cause some more in the future.
Sure. I think you made a very good point about Dasun Shanaka. Even I think he's an underrated all-rounder. He was fantastic in that last T20 against Australia as well. Won them from absolutely nowhere. Advait, your thoughts on this squad? I think, as he said, it's spin heavy once again, and the all-rounders could play a good part,
Yes.
and they could create an upset.
Yes, it's spin heavy and they have a lot of all-rounders. I would be interesting. It would be interesting to see how their batsmen perform because they have got some really experienced batsmen in the form of
Mm.
Kusal Mendes.
Yeah.
Dinesh Chandimal has been there for a long time. I guess since 2007 or 8, if I
Yeah.
am
Yeah.
not mistaken. He's
Mm.
been there around. He had a lot of potential even in the early days, but he wasn't able to deliver because at that time there were the likes of Dilshan Jayawardene, Sangakkara, the list is I guess countless for the Sri Lankan greats. But
Mhm.
once all of them were gone, even at that point of time, Chandimal was not able to perform. So it's quite good to see that Chandimal is now performing to his potential. Along with Kushal Mendes, there's a bit of experience. Then Bhanuka Rajapaksa, we did see him in the IPL.
Mm.
He was hitting those long sixes. He could come in, give you those 15 balls, 40 orders, which is quite important in this format. So yes, they have got a mix of experience plus talented youngsters. So it would be interesting to see how their batting also performs at this stage.
Yeah, Nikhil, I was talking to Shikhar, who is the unofficial scout of Kolkata Knight Riders, and he is quite excited with the Sri Lankan squad. Like he was before the T20 World Cup as well last year. He likes the players. He likes Bhanuka Rajapaksa. Then you have Charita Salanka, Pathum Nisanka is one of those. And Nikhil, even we discussed about Mickey Arthur, I think, on Twitter about how he might have created some change do you think? Sorry, not Mickey Arthur. Sorry, Chris Silverwood.
Silverwood.
Just yeah, sorry, got confused with that. Chris Silverwood was with England. They couldn't win a Test match, and suddenly they won two Test matches. They defeated Australia. Man, England couldn't defeat Australia in those five Tests in the Ashes, and Sri Lanka defeated Australia. So that's something to say about Chris Silverwood. But what do you think, Chris Silverwood with a T20 setup because he's known for his Test coaching? What do you think about that?
Yeah, he got a lot of criticism from England fans and from the England board, but that was mainly for his test approach. Like considering what we're seeing right now with England, he was considered very boring and I don't know, very straightforward and not doing anything different. But like now this is a completely different format. I agree that their spinners are very exciting. Um, who Tikshana and Hasaranga will definitely play. Again, I don't know how much heavy they want to go in the like go into spinners with the World Cup because like this whole Asia Cup is like a preparation for the World Cup. So
Yeah.
I don't know whether they'll also create pitches which are similar to pitches in Australia. I don't know if they'll do that because like winning this competition is not of like high importance. I think preparation for Australia for the conditions, especially because I don't know whether any of these teams are going to play in Australia before the World Cup. So um, so like getting those pitches like similar to that would be more important than winning these matches. But yeah, I agree. Shanaka is also an underrated player. I think a lot of these players are underrated because we see their potential and then they don't deliver.
Mhm.
So they'll deliver in like 1 in 5, 1 in 10, and then you'll be like, oh, I'd seen this good innings, or I'd noticed that he had played really well, and then you don't hear from him, and then he plays again a good innings, and then you're like, oh yeah, that guy's actually a good player, but he doesn't get mentioned because he's very inconsistent. So I think a lot of these players are extremely inconsistent. They've been inconsistent for a long time since all those great generation retired. Again, like Nisanka is also a very exciting player. He had like a domestics average of like 60 or something.
Mhm.
And at the moment, Hasaranga is like their poster boy, I guess, for this T20 side. He'll come in at like seven, probably 7, 8, and he'll bowl 4 overs. Um, I'm trying to remember. Was he playing when the IPL was over there?
No,
No, no,
I
he was
don't
he
think.
was with the RCB this year, which was played in
Right.
India, so he didn't play.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I'm sure he has like plenty of experience
yeah,
playing
yeah.
over there. Those pitches will help him. Uh, I mean, Advait will know all about Patirana, whether he will play or not. It'll be interesting to see. And yeah, I mean, it's spinners, right? Everywhere there are spinners.
Yeah, I think the thing you mentioned about the inconsistency, I think the same is with Kusal Mendis as well. Another guy with
Yes.
extreme talent who just doesn't perform when it's required, but he can.
All their batters, I think, Guna
Yeah,
Tilaka
yeah,
and
yeah.
what's his name, Dhananjay De Silva.
Hmm. Like
Yeah,
I'm a
yes,
big
they have
fan
got a
of
lot of
Dhananjay De
potential
Silva.
within themselves, but they are just not able to convert it, I guess,
Hmm.
because they have
yeah.
shown that glimpse of excellence, but they are not just able to do it on regular basis.
That's why I noticed. That's why I mentioned that
Yes,
whether it's that Chris Silverwood effect, whether he's like backing his players or giving some kind of belief and other like soft factor things, which people don't mention about Virat Kohli
yes,
mentioned about it in his like in interview that he did yesterday, or it came out yesterday. So
Yeah.
like there's a lot of like soft factor things which people don't notice that go into a successful team.
Yeah, once again, a reminder to the audience that if you have any questions, do put it in the chat and we will try and answer it. Now, moving on to the next team. At the same time, Nikhil made an important point about the pitches, whether they will be pacey and bouncy, trying to replicate the Australian conditions, or we will see the typical Dubai pitches where spin will play a part. We will get to know in 45 minutes when the first game starts between Sri Lanka and Afghanistan. An important game because as Ninad mentioned, the second group is a crucial group because nobody knows who will go through. If you don't know, I will just quickly tell you the format of the Asia Cup. There are two groups of three teams: India, Pakistan, and Hong Kong. Obviously, India and Pakistan have to be in one group. Otherwise, Star Sports doesn't make money. And on the other hand, we have Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Afghanistan. So in these groups, each team plays the other two teams, and then the top two teams proceed to the Super Four, as Ninal mentioned, and then in the Super Four, each team plays all the other three teams. So that means we will have another India-Pakistan game because Star Sports needs more money, and then the top two teams from the top Super Four will make it to the final. So there is a possibility that we might have another India-Pakistan game, so that Star Sports makes more money. It's a humble request to Star Sports if they can send 10% of their earnings from the Asia Cup to Cricket Adda. It would be a great gesture. On that note, let's move on to the Bangladesh squad, which is always confusing because we just don't know who is captaining them. It's Shakib Al Hasan after all the revolving chairs that went around. I don't know. I mean, who was the last captain and the Bangladesh board president? keeps interfering, has personal meetings with Shakib Al Hasan, and then I think Shakib Al Hasan was made the captain. Mustafizur Rahman, Mushfiqur Rahim, Mehdi Hasan, Taskin Ahmed, as usual, the expected suspects there. Ninad, your thoughts on the Bangladesh squad? Uh, they have been far inconsistent. I don't know what to make out of that.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent looking squad on paper. I mean, some of the players have had their moments in the past, but yeah, similar to what Nikhil said, with the Sri Lankan team, this team is even more inconsistent. One consistent player I see here is Shakib Al Hasan. Like,
Mm.
he has been making use of the chances he's got. He's not been playing for a while due to, yeah, some reasons that I don't want to talk about now. But yeah, this team doesn't look. I think that this team may not qualify, but all I want to see is DK play against this team. That's all.
For that, Bangladesh need to qualify. So, Ninan hoping that Bangladesh qualifies so that we see the epic DK last ball six against Soumya Sarkar. But is Soumya Sarkar in the squad? No, he isn't.
So,
So he might have to hit a six against some other bowler. But Advait, your thoughts on the Bangladesh squad? Again, really inconsistent. Don't know what to make of it. I think the key players will be their experienced guys in Shakib Al
yes,
Hasan,
Shakib
Mushfiqur
and
Rahman.
Mushfiqur Rahim.
Yeah,
Yes,
Mushfiqur
definitely.
Rahman and Mustafizur Rahman.
I
So
don't
those
know whether
three.
Shabbir Rahman will play or not because Shabbir Rahman is also an experienced guy. But
Mm, mm.
I guess that I just can't make what their strength is because looking at this team, I'm just not able to make what their strength could be. It could be their fast bowling, but even their fast bowlers are around that 120, 130, 135 mark. They
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have that experienced batting lineup. I am just not. I guess Sri Lanka and Afghanistan should qualify from this group because Afghanistan are definitely a better T20 team than Bangladesh at this point of time because of their
Mm,
individual players. Not talking
mm,
about the complete team, but yes, if you look individual player to player, Afghanistan is better than Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka should
mm,
also make it because this Bangladesh team doesn't look that Bangladesh team of 2018-19 where they were on the
mm.
rise. They if you see Bangladesh after 2015, they were on the rise, but currently this team is not made of the same metal, so I just don't know what to make of them.
The only way I see Bangladesh qualifying is if their three main bowlers, I would say Shakib Al Hasan, Taskin Ahmed, and Mustafizur Rahman, chip
Rahman, yeah.
in, and yeah, they play consistently, and then their batsmen just carry them. Shakib Al Hasan has to carry this team in order
Yes. Even Mehdi
for them
Hassan
to
would be, I
qualify.
guess, a crucial factor. Would play a crucial factor, Mehdi Hassan, if he
Yeah.
plays. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
I like Mehdi Hasan, a great off
Yes.
spinner, scored some crucial runs at the end of the innings as well. But one name which I see is missing here is Lipton Das, and I think
Yes.
he is a pretty good player, and I think they will miss him because he is a great timer on the cricket ball, plays some fantastic shots, and he's not there. So Shakib Al Hasan and Mushfiqur Rahim have to take the bulk of the batting responsibilities. Moving on to the two big teams now of the second group, which is India and Pakistan. Let's go through the Pakistan squad first. If I can pull up the Pakistan squad, two changes in the squad. First of all, I'll just zoom it in. First of all, KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma relieved that Shaheen Shah Afridi has been ruled out. So has Mohammad Wasim Jr. The news came in yesterday. So the replacements I think are Mohammad Hasnain and Hassan Ali, Ninad's favorite cricketer of the century. And the celebration of the century was by Hassan Ali when he injured his neck. But Nikhil, talking about this squad, I think their strength lies in their top three, even though I'm not a big fan of their top three because the strike rate is always an issue. Babar Azam, Mohammad Rizwan. Fakhar Zaman is a great hitter of the cricket ball, but with Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan, you know, if they bat for 10 overs, they're going to score only 80 runs, not 110. What do you think about that?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But I think at the moment they're probably their two best batters,
Yeah.
so it doesn't make sense to not give them enough deliveries up front.
Mhm.
Um, we as Indian fans, we don't normally see Pakistan a lot. So a lot of, I mean, if you are like following them and if you are following their players in different T20 leagues, then you're probably familiar with them. But for a lot of people, when Pakistan comes up, they're like, oh, who are these? We've never even heard of them. We know Babar Azam, and now people know Shaheen Shah Afridi, Mohammad Rizwan. Um, but they have good fast bowlers. Hassan Ali might play now because
Hmm.
they'll I think they'll go with three fast bowlers.
Yeah,
So Naseem Shah will play. I think Hassan Ali will have to play. I don't know if any of Usman Qadir is a leggy, right? Or is
leggy
he?
right. Yeah, he's a leg
Yeah.
spinner. Yeah.
So I don't know what Shahnawaz Dahani does. So Hassan Ali might have to play, Naseem Shah might have to play, but Shaheen Shah Afridi missing out is a huge bonus to India. Some might say maybe it's not a huge bonus because this is a preparation for the World Cup, and we're going to face him in the World Cup. So getting like a practice match before that would have been like so much better for us. But like for our chances to win this match and to win this competition, it's better that he's not playing. And I really like Shadab Khan also.
Hmm.
He's also I think he's a top cricketer. His batting is also very underrated. He bats really well. I think he used to like open in the PSL, or used to bat like three or four, or
Yeah,
in
batted
some
three.
tournament I'd seen. Yeah,
Batted three. Yeah.
yeah. So he's an exciting player as well. And yeah, I mean, but all eyes go towards Babar Azam, probably the best batter right now across all three formats. Some people would say, along with Rizwan, that opening pair, there's a lot of responsibility. I saw a stat on ESPN Cricket for that. In the middle overs, their batters have the highest strike rate. I don't know over how many years, but like that makes so much sense because Babar Azam and Rizwan take up so many deliveries, and they'll like set up a platform, very orthodox T20, old style T20s for like style of play. So that's why then you go to Fakhar Zaman, he'll play an important part. I don't Asif Ali I think plays in the top order. He'll play somewhere, and yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not very
I would like
familiar
to
with
add
this
like
team.
what we said about the slow starts, right? Like
Hmm.
Babar Azam along with Fakhar Zaman and Mohammad Rizwan. So these you've got these in the top three.
Hmm.
So Shadab Khan, uh, he's a good bowler. He understands spin pretty well, and he could be crucial to this Pakistan setup in the middle overs. And I think we've seen Asif Ali do some a lot of big hitting also. So he could like even if Pakistan get a slow start with wickets in hand, he could be the X factor of this team. Could like nullify the slow strike rate of the openers. We can like he's got that ability to go big, score a quick fire 40 of some 20, 15, 20 deliveries. So Asif Ali is one player I would say watch out in this Pakistan setup. Yeah, they have got a pretty big dent with their main bowler out of their team, Shaheen Shah Afridi. But yeah, that's also it's pretty bad I would say for the Indian team because with these new players, right? Like the when he burst onto the scene where he dismissed our top three, and yeah, that was a very difficult match for the Indian fans to watch. But that was
Traumatic.
because yeah, it was a bad experience. But yeah, that was mainly because he's a pretty good talent. There's no denying that. But the main reason was because we haven't played him much because of the tension between India and Pakistan. There are not much there 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 are no frequent matches between India and Pakistan, and they don't even face each other in leagues like IPL and also yeah that was I would say that was the main reason why he caused havoc and he did what he did in that match. Now, if you see other world class bowlers, uh, okay, like there's no way of them. They, they wouldn't still be able to do what Shaheen Shah Afridi did.
Mhm. Yeah, I get your point. Just quickly, our subscriber count has gone from 500 to 517. So we have crossed 500 successfully on this live stream. But Ninad making an important point about Shaheen Shah Afridi. And I think the reason why Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan set up that platform and can afford to play slowly, and one of the reasons was their bowling is pretty strong. Not at this moment without Shaheen Shah Afridi, but I think with Shaheen Shah Afridi they had Haris Rauf, and they still have Haris Rauf and Shadab Khan. These three players played a very key role, and that was the reason. Even if they ended up with below par scores, they had a chance to win the game. And I think otherwise, Shaheen Shah Afridi. I think Dinar makes an important point that we wanted to play him, but we want to win the match. But how do you see it? Because Shaheen Shah Afridi is a fantastic bowler, left arm pacer. India don't have much of these, and India really struggle against these kind of bowlers.
Yeah, I would actually love to. I would have liked it if he played in the Asia Cup because not only not only it gives us practice against him, but it also sets up for a really spicy encounter, which
Yeah.
we as fans crave to see. So yeah, it's a bummer that Shaheen Shah Afridi is missing out. I would have personally loved to see him play in the Asia Cup.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
I mean,
yeah,
a lot of people are saying that that it's not only Shaheen Shah Afridi. Like India struggle against left arm pace in
yeah,
general, right? So
yeah.
so it doesn't have to be Shaheen Shah Afridi. I think we play. Which team do we play after the Asia Cup?
We play Australia and South Africa.
Yeah, so like a lot of people have been saying, oh, we're going to play Australia. Mitchell Stark is there. You'll get practice against them, and
Hmm.
India will get used to that. Arshdeep Singh is now part of the setup as well. Hopefully, they'll get some practice against them. But India versus Pakistan is going to be one match in the World Cup. So
Yeah.
you know what you're going to come up against, anyways. You don't need to practice against Mitchell Stark because you know that Shaheen Afridi is going to bowl. If you can practice against him in the match before the World Cup. So yeah, I mean, him being available would have been much better for the Indian team. But I guess it's okay that we don't have to go through that trauma again.
Otherwise, one of the reasons why India struggle against left-arm pace is that all the top three, and if you include Suryakumar at four, all four are right-handers, and generally a left-arm seamer or pacer to a right-hander is a matchup. So, do you think that India can like make a change for this, like a game where there is a left-arm pacer, they can push somebody like a if Pant is playing, if they can do that, or do you think it's like a set platform with Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, Virat Kohli?
I don't see Pant going up the order because neither Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, or Rohit would or Kohli would like to go below three
Mm-hmm.
because if they won't come in that first 10, I don't see them playing the T20 match because all three of them require time to settle in. Yes, KL Rahul, we have seen him in the ODI that he can come and just start hitting the ball, but still I guess he would like to take 5 to 10 balls, considering that he has not had much of match practice because we have seen that KL Rahul is looking rusty in the last two matches that he had played. He wasn't
Yeah.
looking at his best. So and even Surya Kumar at five, I don't see the Surya Kumar coming in at five and giving the impact that he could at number four, which he's currently providing because I guess he's in the form of his life for the last 2 to 3 years, Surya Kumar. So just to push him down because there's a left arm seamer in the opposite ranks, I don't see that as a point because if a person is playing nicely, I don't see that should be an issue, whoever the bowler is. And adding to Nikhil's point about Mitchell Stark, I don't say Mitchell Stark. I am just considering at this point of time Shaheen Shah Afridi is better than Mitchell Stark because
Mm.
Mitchell Stark of his prime used to bowl consistently in one area. He could bowl those 24 overs, 24 balls if he wish. He could bowl those Yorkers or those outswinging deliveries. But Mitchell Stark now he's just that inconsistent. Even in Test matches, he's lot more inconsistent. So if on his good day he could be a real threat, but not on all the matches. So Mitchell Stark is not the best of the left arm seamers if you want to practice against.
Yeah, India should have practiced against Shaheen Shafii, Trent Bolt, Reece Topley, David Willey, and like all the left arm pacers available in world cricket at the moment. We will discuss the Pakistan playing 11, but before that, let's move on to the India squad quickly. Just a minute. So the India squad, I think, is on the screen now. Yeah, with photos. Can we see it? Yes, we can. With photos, because that's how we look at the Indian players. Rohit Sharma, captain Virat, sorry, KL Rahul, vice captain Virat Kohli, Surya Kumar Yadav. I think it's like the most predictable squad. The only thing is that Jasprit Bumrah and Harshal Patel, the two certainties, are missing out due to injuries. Apart from that, I think this is going to be the squad from the T20 World Cup as well. We will discuss that later. But Nikhil, quickly, your thoughts on this Virat Kohli coming back? How important it is for him to come back in form? He is giving a lot of interviews. I think he's coming off a big break, but all that is has to be kept aside, and he needs to score runs at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think more than more than him, I think now his fans and everyone in India is just praying for him to get back to form and get back to that level because it's so important. I don't know whether this new approach will suit him,
Mm.
um, but it'll be interesting to see in the Asia Cup what kind of approach he himself takes because because I think he knows that he's not in form, so
Mm.
he has to like play how the team wants. He can't be like I'm going to take my time. If he was in form and if he was like scoring big runs, then he can take his time at the top and play out a few deliveries. But he knows he's not in form. He has to go straight away, and maybe that'll be helpful. But what has happened like over the last few months is that Virat Kohli has tried all different types of approaches and none of them have worked. In the
Yeah.
IPL, he has tried sticking in there and not trying to get out, not trying to play any rash shot or big shot, and try to hit those singles and fours, and that will work, but that's not how a team wants to perform. So, and most of the time it wasn't working. I think he scored like a 15, like 40 balls or something like that
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
IPL
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So that was once. Then and in a lot of matches he tried going after the bowling and hit a four or hit a six in his first few deliveries and then got out. So he's tried everything. I don't know what he needs to do. Maybe this break has served him well, and he's able to come back, with a fresh mindset. Because this is a challenge for him because in those last few years, he was batting at a level where he didn't have a challenge. He was the best batter in all formats. A lot of people were saying he might be the best ever batter in the history of the game. His record was so good. We always talked about his test record, and then he went and delivered on his test record as well. So maybe he has to look at this as a challenge now and try to overcome this situation that he's come upon.
Yeah, just a tip to BCCI, if they remember well, that the matches which I watched in the stadium, Virat Kohli scored 48 and 72 in the IPL for RCB. So if they can fund me and get me to Dubai tomorrow, I'm sure he will score 50 in 25 balls. So this is it. If you're listening and watching to this, Nina, but let's look at the bowling now. Jasprit Bumrah misses out, so does Harshal Patel due to an injury. But the one guy who has been impressive is Arshdeep Singh. What do you make of him, and does he make your T20 World Cup squad if Bumrah and Harshal Patel are fit?
Um, that's a very tough question. I mean, you see this image and then see who's going to replace him.
Nina, your audio is a bit low.
What about now?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, if you consider this image
Hmm.
and then you give it a thought that who's going to replace whom in the T20 World Cup squad, then I see Avesh Khan going out and
Yeah.
Bumrah coming in for him. And
Yes.
then let's see now, see if we're going to be playing in Australia. So
I
I don't
think
know
one
how
of the
much,
spinners, one of the spinners will
Yes.
miss out. Either Ashwin or Vishnu will
how,
miss out.
yeah, one of the spinners, yeah, I would, no, I would probably say um, Ashwin would have to
Hmm.
sit out because, yeah, in T20 cricket, I mean, having a leggy is good, but then there's Chahal as well. So that adds another question. So yeah, I would
But
probably
yeah,
consider.
if we go with you, Avesh sits out and Ashwin and Bishnoi, one of them sits out and Bumrah and Harshal Patel directly replace them. So Arshdeep still remains in the squad, right?
Yeah, then Arshdeep would remain in the squad, but then his bowling doesn't really suit the kind of pitches Australia have on offer. So I don't know how effective it would be. Yeah, one thing that would help him is since he bowls so slower once and the ground dimensions in Australia are big,
Hmm. Hmm.
so he might potentially not be hit for those many boundaries. But then see, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar is a sure shot fit. You can take care of
Yeah. Yes.
because he's going to be your power play bowler, and then Bumrah as well. You would go in with Jadeja and Hardik also being one of the bowlers. Hardik could potentially give you another 4 overs. So yeah, Arshdeep would probably have to warm the benches. That would be the best bet if he had to make the squad.
Yeah, interesting. I think Hardik Pandya, I think that's an important one. Hardik Pandya in Australia could definitely give you more overs with his bouncers, and Jadeja in the Asia Cup could give you more overs with if the pitches are spin friendly. But Advait, an important question for you. The question of the century right now, is it Rishabh Pant or is it Dinesh Karthik in the first 11? Because I
I
think
guess it
all
should
others
be
are
Rishabh
set.
Pant.
All others are set, yeah.
I guess it should be Rishabh Pant because if there's no Rishabh Pant, then we will have top six with no left-handers.
Mm,
All
mm.
of our top six would be just right-handers. So it doesn't make sense. So I guess for now, even though Dinesh Karthik is in the form of his, like Dinesh Karthik might just have to warm the bench. Rishabh Pant makes in my 11 ahead of Dinesh Karthik, and even Dinesh Karthik's keeping is, yes, he might, he's not up to he's not up to the mark. He's not the best wicket keeper, and if there's a wicket keeper, KL Rahul won't keep. So there's no possibility that Dinesh Karthik plays and KL Rahul will keep the wicket. So Rishabh Pant will play as the specialist keeper, and I guess with bat in at number 5. So I guess yes, Dinesh Karthik will have to warm the bench.
Interesting point that Nikhil, because as Advait mentioned, we already discussed this top three are already right-handers. Surya Kumar at four are right-handers. If Pant doesn't play, your top six become right-handers. The only left-hander you have is Ravindra Jadeja. That too he comes in at number 7. So that could be an issue, and that's why Pant might play.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's the big issue that we've had for a long time. We don't have any left-handers in the top order. That's why India tried to push Ishan Kishan so much. But yeah, I think Rishabh Pant has to pay. It's very unfortunate on Dinesh Karthik because he suits the way India want to play, India's approach. Rishabh
Yeah,
Pant really has to give into this approach. I think he needs to, whenever he comes in, he has to go back to his old Rishabh Pant and just, you know, it's
2016.
so interesting that a player like Rishabh Pant has a better Test record
yeah,
than his T20 record. It's it's very interesting. I think but it's a lot of times that happens because I think someone like Sehwag also had a very good Test record.
yeah.
I probably didn't have the best. I think he had a good T20 record, but his Test record was like better than his T20 record. So I think he has to give into this style of this approach that India has adopted. I don't know how much that suits his game now because I think he's more used to taking his time a little bit and then hitting the odd boundary and kind of going one day style. So I hope he goes back to the old Pant that we know and whenever he comes in, just goes after the bowling. He'll play in the middle order, so spinners he'll have his role will be to target the spinners, which is no problem for him. So, and I think he'll give he if he wants to play that style, I think he can give himself enough time and then explode at the back few overs if he comes in early. But the question is if he which we haven't seen from him is when he comes in like in the 16th and 17th and 18th over and then going on to score like 40 runs in the last three. That we haven't seen. That's something I don't know about you, but maybe I have a little bit more faith that Dinesh Karthik can do because he's got that explosive mentality, I guess. And I think Dinesh Karthik knows his role so well. He knows that he's going to be there just for those 10, 15, 20 balls and he has to make the most of it. Whereas I don't know if Rishabh Pant has completely grasped how what kind of role he has to play. So I would be more like I would want Hardik Pandya to come in ahead of Rishabh Pant in that situation. And I think that's the situation which Pant is going to find himself a lot, especially while batting first. So yeah, he has to adopt this new approach.
Ninar looks disappointed that Dinesh Karthik might not make the 11 because he wanted to see that iconic six against Bangladesh. But moving on,
Maybe
let's
they might get him only for
yeah,
the Bangladesh game.
yeah, that's a good option. That's a good option.
Yeah.
Nina agrees with that. Nina definitely agrees with that. Now let's look at the possible playing 11 for both the teams for the second game of the Asia Cup, not the first game, because the first game starts in like 14 minutes. But the important game is the second one. It's India versus Pakistan
I
tomorrow
guess
at
the match
7
timing is
p.m.
7:30,
Is
not
it
7.
7:30? It's
Yes.
7:30 or what? Okay,
Yes,
so
I
I
guess
got
it's
it wrong.
7:30.
Okay, so yeah, it is 7:30. It's 10 a.m. here. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got it.
10.
It's 7:30. Moving on to the probable playing 11s, as we said, Babar Azam, Mohammad Rizwan, Fakhar Zaman make the top three. Iftikhar Ahmed, Khusdil Shah, and Asif Ali can make the middle order. Shadab Khan at number seven, Haris Rauf. I have gone with Haris Rauf and Mohammad Hasnain because I saw Mohammad Hasnain in the 100. He looks good bowler, but there are some issues there because people think that he chucks the
Action.
ball. Yeah, he chucks the ball, and he was banned for it as well. But Mohammad Hasnain, but as Nikhil says, Hassan Ali is an option as well. He is a good pinch hitter as well. Don't discount that. He can come in and smash a 20 of just eight balls. So that's an option. But this looks like the playing 11. One thing which we were discussing before the stream started, Ninad, was they are missing a clear left armer there because no Shaheen Shah Afridi and no Mohammad Wasim Jr. There is not a single left arm pacer now, isn't it, Ninad?
Yeah, I mean that has been the mainstay of Pakistani bowling attack. And without Shaheen Shah Afridi, it does look a bit toothless. I mean, there is Haris Rauf, is not a replacement. I mean, he fits in the best Pakistan 11 T20, but still Naseem Shah is also a pretty good young talent. He can clock it up really fast, 140 plus. But yeah, without Shaheen Shah Afridi, it's just not the same.
I
It
think
remind me
Shadab Khan.
of those Pakistan lineups like a few years ago when they had like Umar Gul and those guys. Just like they're good, but none of them are like world class. I think
I
that's
agree with
that's
you.
the
Yeah,
thing.
I think
Yeah.
Shadab Khan will play the key role there in the middle
Yeah.
overs. Moving on to the India probable 11, KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Surya Kumar Yadav. The debate between Pant and Karthik, I think we have agreed on Pant at the moment. Let's see what the team goes with. Hardik Pandya, Ravindra Jadeja, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Arshdeep Singh at the moment may not make the 11 in once Bumrah and Harshal Patel come back.
Yeah.
Yuzvendra Chahal, and I'm going with the extra spinner because it's Dubai, but Avesh Khan is a good option. Having said that, Ninad doesn't like Avesh Khan's death bowling because he was pretty angry on the group when he got smashed for a six and a four in the first two deliveries when he had to defend 10. Ninad, at the moment, the extra spinner, Ashwin slash Bishnoi.
Yeah, I would definitely go with Ashwin here because
Hmm.
I've been seeing he offers you right arm off spin plus
Yeah.
he gives depth to the batting. So that having depth in the batting department uh, would help the likes of a top order Virat Kohli, KL Rahul. They've been on and off from the scene, so could probably help them to play a bit more freely, knowing that they have got depth in the batting order because you've got Hardik Pandya who's in brilliant form, there's Ravindra Jadeja, you can consider him as a proper batsman, Bhuvneshwar Kumar who can bat, and then if you've got Ashwin as well, that you have a solid batting order which can bat properly till 8 or 9. There's depth. So having a good tail, something which we don't associate India with, but have Ashwin do that. And mind you, Ashwin is a pretty smart bowler. He's a very crafty, experienced bowler. He can spin it both the ways. He has a pretty good carry ball. He bowls the top spin, the flipper. He knows he has a lot of variations. So I wouldn't rule him out. So I would prefer Ashwin.
Yeah, even the Ashwin Churl combination worked for Rajasthan Royals, so that's something to look out for. And Jadeja, as it is, isn't bowling like really well in the T20 format. He might do well in the Asia Cup, but he's not like a world class T20 bowler. So Ashwin could
And
make the 11.
adding on to that, why
Mhm.
having Ashwin, another factor would be because of the rise of Hardik as a bowler. You've got
Mhm.
Hardik, Bhuvaneshwar, and Arshdeep. So you've got 12 overs of pace covered. So you
Mhm.
can afford to have a spinner.
Yeah.
The
Moving.
one thing
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
The,
Yeah.
the one thing that I wonder about Bishnoi is that what the team management might think is that Bishnoi a lot of times has played against a lower level opposition,
Hmm.
and he's
Hmm.
played really well. So he
Hmm.
bowls like 4 overs and gets like 6 wickets. So they might want to like test him out against some of the big boys against Pakistan, because right now it's basically like Ashwin and Bishna are basically fighting for their place, so they might want to say that, okay, Bishna, you get a go, and then we might play Ashwin in some other matches. But I think for the World Cup like squad, I think Ashwin makes more sense to me. But I think there's maybe a broader discussion to have is whether you go for for like bowlers, or whether you go for like variety and a different kind of thing. Because like if Jadeja gets injured, I think there'll be a lot of chatter
Yes,
online
like
that, oh,
Huda
maybe
might
Akshar.
replace him. Huda
Yeah,
can
yeah,
replace him if
Can
Jaddu
replace
gets
it.
injured.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's a
But I
good
think
point.
there'll be a lot of chatter whether Akshar Patel should come in. Why isn't he playing? And he's a like to like player. You have to then change your combination if Jadeja's out for one game, and if you've gone for Bishnoi, then you have to then change combinations a lot. Do you go for like Huda if Hardik Pandya is giving you overs, or do you go for proper spinner? So
Interesting
I think
point. Yeah.
yes, I guess in
that's like,
Australia you don't need much of Jaddu. He would give you just 1 or 2 hours here and there. And I
Mhm.
guess Huda would be more than pretty handy with his bowling. And we know that Huda is batting really well, so I don't think that would be an issue if Jaddu gets injured and Huda comes in.
Yeah, I
yeah, I
think
think,
yeah.
yeah, good.
Yeah, so the point which Advait makes sense because when Jadeja didn't play in West Indies, Huda replaced him. And the thing, I think that's also a reason why Huda has been picked over Shreyas Iyer because he can bowl those 1 or 2 overs, and he's flexible to bat anywhere in the order, as compared to Shreyas Iyer who used to bat in the top four. So that's an interesting point. Having said about Akshar Patel, again, I'm a big fan of him, but you can fit only 15 players, so you can't really fit him in the squad at the moment.
Yeah, so I think that's where that question comes, where do you go for like bowlers, or do
Mhm.
you go for like some variety? Because I think Deepak Huda is an interesting choice because he can bat anywhere in that top six
Yeah,
or top seven. If anyone gets injured, he goes straight in,
yeah,
and then he gives you those bowling. Only thing, if Jadeja gets injured and Huda plays, is that then you only have 4 overs of Chahal and then maybe 1 or 2 overs of
yeah.
Huda. So then if the pitch is going to be slow or anything, then you'll have to bowl Huda and yeah, I don't know. I don't know how comfortable you are bowling 3-4 overs of Deepak Huda at the moment. But yeah, I mean, coming back to the our game, I think yeah, it's going to be either Ashwin or Bishnoi. I'll be interested to see what they do with the Pant and Dinesh Karthik situation, because Pant has not been in good form, and I don't know how many out of form players you can have in your batting order, because KL Rahul is just coming back, and Virat Kohli is out of form, and Rishabh Pant is out of form. So then who's going to bat? Surya Kumar Yadav feels like the only player who is in form. Rohit Sharma is also there, but yeah, I don't know.
I
So
think Surya Kumar is in form
Even Hardik is
24 by
there.
7. Yeah, Surya
i-
Kumar is in form 24 by
Hardik
7.
is in, yeah,
Yeah,
Hardik is in form as well.
I think it's informed. Yeah, just quickly before we end the stream, we had started this way back before the South Africa series where we put forward a T20 World Cup squad, a depth chart, and I think now the pretty much the squad is selected. If you can see it, Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, the two openers. The smart thing that the team management has done is that they are not looking at Ishan Kishan as a backup opener. They have done what they have done is either Surya Kumar Yadav or Rishabh Pant is the backup opener. So if one of Rohit Sharma or KL Rahul gets injured, one of these two, Surya Kumar or Rishabh Pant, goes up, and then by that you don't need Ishan Kishan in the squad. That's how they are looking at it. These are the four middle order spin hitters. Yeah, sorry if anybody wanted to add anything.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
I think Shreyas Iyer has dropped down the pecking order because of his struggle against pace, and Deepak Huda scored a century against Ireland and looked good against all the other games as well. These are the hit from ball one or finishers, what we call. The off spinner question is still, I think, see, Sundar is fit. I mean, he was fit, but then he got injured again for the Zimbabwe series. So I think he's losing out on that place, and Ashwin is going ahead.
Yeah,
For the left arm spinner role, as Nikhil mentions, Akshar Patel is in yellow, but I don't think he'll make the squad because Jadeja will be the first choice. Harshal Patel and Hardik Pandya, the pace all-rounders, mystery spin or wrist spin, 140 plus or enforcer. Avesh Khan could make the squad, but it looks unlikely at the moment, and this is the fast bowling department. So the squad which I put up here is this is a 15-man squad here. So I think everybody agrees with it. The only thing is if Harshal Patel is not fit, because I think his injury time is going to be a big one. So what is the option? Do you go with Avesh Khan, or as somebody suggested, I don't remember who, Deepak Chihar could be an option. Because he can bat at 8, and he's a good new ball bowler, and then Bhuvneshwar can maybe bowl 2 at the depth. That's an option. Advait, your thoughts on that quickly?
I guess Deepak Char should play because we have seen that he could even bat.
Yeah.
So yes, that gives the freedom to the top seven to just go out there and play their way because they know that there's a batsman who can play those 10 to 12 balls if needed. So and even Deepak Char is bowling pretty nicely because Avesh Khan hasn't been the best. Avesh Khan of IPL and Avesh Khan of Team India is quite different. He's not
Hmm.
picking up wickets. He's leaking runs. So I'm not even sure why he's in the Asia squad because I still guess that Deepak Char should be ahead of Avesh Khan. But I just don't know.
Interesting point. That Ninad, quickly your thoughts on Deepak Chair ahead of Avesh Khan.
Yeah, I would also agree with Advait. Like, we've seen the numbers Deepak Char has produced since 2018. He's been the best bowler IPL in the power play.
Yeah.
So I would go with 3 overs of Deepak Char in the power play. Finish his overs up there. Use one of it if required. If not required, we have a sixth bowler also.
Yeah.
So yeah, Avesh Khan doesn't make sense to this.
Avesh Khan doesn't make sense. Two of the guys. And Nikhil, quickly, if Harshal Patel is injured and pulled out of the T20 World Cup, do you go with Deepak Chair ahead of Avesh Khan?
yeah. I think it's a pretty straightforward decision over there. I think he should get some games in the series after the Asia Cup to make sure he's in the reckoning as well. Because again, I think he's basically a like for like replacement for Harshal Patel. but I think his batting is better than Harshal Patel as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
he's still, I think, underrated as a batter. He showed that, I think, in the Sri Lanka series when we
Yeah.
played our B team, and he got
Hmm.
like a 50 or some, or he won the match for India with Bhuvneshwar Kumar at the other end. So his batting is very underrated. I think he'll in that number 8 slot. I think he makes more sense because I think Harshal Patel's batting is a little bit overrated because I think he's okay, but I don't think he's like a, number 8, maybe 9 is okay, but I think it's a little bit overrated. So yeah, it's a pretty straightforward choice.
Yeah, Deepak sir replicated it against the South Africa game. Unfortunately, we couldn't win that because both Bumrah and Char got out towards the end, and then Chahal was searching for the bat. I mean, how to hit the ball with the bat because he wasn't able to connect a single ball. But I think that's it for the day. Before we leave, let's have some predictions. Who is going to be the highest run scorer, highest wicket taker, and then obviously the winner of the Asia Cup? Nikhil, if you want to go first.
Um, do I go Virat Kohli?
Virat Kohli, the
Um,
highest run scorer, are you sure?
um, Now let's go for a safe option. Let's go Babar Azam, highest run scorer.
At
It's
127
sad that
strike
we're
rate,
saying
right?
that. But
At 127 strike rate.
yeah,
KL
127 strike.
Rahul Batting Academy.
KL Rahul Batting
Yeah,
Academy.
he's the president of
Unfortunately,
KL Rahul Batting Academy.
there is a Twitter handle named Tuk Tuk Academy. If you've seen it, and they just keep posting about all these players who score at a strike rate, at a low strike rate. But yeah, quickly, Nikhil, Virat Kohli or Babar Azam, who are you going with?
Yeah, Babar Azam will be highest run scorer that
And
tournament.
then the highest run scorer for you.
I would also go with Babar Azam because the thing with the Pakistani setup is that he is their main batsman. He's going to open for them. He's the one who is supposed to do a bulk of the scoring, whereas Virat Kohli in Team India, he has many other superstars around him to play, and Babar Azam.
I am going with the man in form, 24 by 7, Surya Kumar Yadav. Even though batting at number 4, he will score a lot of runs. Advait, your pick.
KL Rahul.
KL Rahul, who didn't score well in the Zimbabwe series, but another
I think it's our
fantastic player.
batting approach which makes me feel that, as Ninad said, that like the runs will be all be spread around. Everyone will score like 20s, 30s, 40s, but Babar Azam will always get those big scores.
Agree, yeah, I agree that. I agree with that. Babar Azam 76 of 52 balls.
Yeah.
Moving
And
on
that's
to
still a good
the.
score. 70 of
That's a good
52.
score. That's a good score.
But you didn't mention that Rizwan will be like 44 of 30 or something.
Yeah. But moving to the highest wicket taker. Advait, let's start with you this
Chahal.
time. Chahal, Yuzvendra Chahal in Dubai, he likes to bowl in those conditions. He has done well for RCB as well. Ninad,
I would like to go with one into Hasaranga,
good choice. Good choice. I'm going with my favorite leg spinner, Rashid Khan.
another good pick.
Yeah, Rashid Khan's been out of
See,
form. I mean, what I saw in that Ireland series was like baffling.
yeah, but we all have picked a leg spinner, so unfortunately, you also have to pick a leg spinner.
I
And
could go
that's
for
for
Shadab
Pakistan.
Khan.
Shadab Khan, okay.
I could go, but I don't want both my picks to be Pakistani players. So I'm going to go with Chahal.
Yuzvendra Chahal, okay. Good
Yeah.
pick. And the winner of the Asia Cup, I think it has to be Hong Kong.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Everybody agrees with me, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, so that's
Maybe
it
India
for
might win. Maybe.
Yes,
slight
Slight
there's a
chance.
chance
chance.
that
Slight chance, yeah.
slightest of chance that India might make to top four. Slightest of
Dark
chance.
Yeah.
horse.
Yeah.
Yes, that was.
Like like they say in football, Hong Kong has been placed in the group of death.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, at the end of the day, if
Because of
India,
Hong Kong, it's the group of death, by the way.
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
everybody agrees with me. It's the winner. See, we predicted the IPL winner correctly. Gujarat Titans. Darshan Savalia, if you're there, Gujarat Titans was the winner, isn't it? So similarly, we are predicting Hong Kong, but seriously, I think India and Pakistan should play the final because those two are the strongest teams, and then on that day, whoever plays well will win the game. But I think India is a stronger T20 side because of the absence of Shaheen Shah Afridi. Even though Bumrah is missing, India have a strong bowling lineup. So I think everybody would go with India if they play through their potential. India should win the Asia Cup.
Who do you think comes in the final with
India
India?
Pakistan.
India Pakistan. See, Star Sports needs money, man. Come on.
Yeah, three India
Because they
Pakistan.
haven't lost the IPL rights, so it's only India
Yeah.
Pakistan for them. So
Yeah,
they will need two India Pakistan matches in Asia Cup at least.
A
I
lot of
think
Wait,
Sri
Shubham,
Lanka is also a dark horse.
yeah, yeah. Big fan Advait sir.
Shubham, in discussion with this, who would make it to the finals? Let's
Hmm.
like, do you have like a roadmap or something? If we could put that on screen, it would be easy. I mean, see, it's obvious that India and Pakistan would be straight into the Super Four, and then it's India is going to play, uh, like,
Number
let's
two,
say the first group is going to play the second of the second group,
yes,
and opposite, right?
No, no. Everybody plays everybody in this
Everyone,
top
yeah.
in
four.
that Super
Yeah,
Four.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
So,
okay, yeah. What's going to be the exact format of the Super Four?
so basically, four teams. Each team plays the other three teams.
And then the top
And
two go
then
into the
top two
finals.
Yeah,
final.
top two make the final.
Okay, this is interesting. Then I would say India Afghanistan for a final.
Yes, that's it. That's what I wanted. Afghanistan versus India. It's Rashid Khan versus Virat Kohli in the final.
So
That
it's
would
okay
be
that it's okay if we lose the match tomorrow. Not that we should, but even if we win, even if we lose, it's okay because we'll have two other chances to beat them.
Wish we could say this in the World Cup.
Yeah.
But the last time India played Pakistan at Dubai, the Indian fans switched off the TV after the first innings because the score wasn't enough. And then, unfortunately, no Pakistan wicket fell. They won by 10 wickets. This time, I hope the result is different and Babar Azam gets out on the first ball. Let's watch the game for tomorrow. The game is tomorrow, India Pakistan. But today there's a game as well, Sri Lanka versus Afghanistan. Interesting game, I think. As Dinal has mentioned, it's a really great group that Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Bangladesh. It's the group to watch out for because from the other group, it's India and Pakistan who are going to make the Super Four. But that's it for the day. I think the number of subscribers have increased, and those who are watching, still 32 people are watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Cricket Adda to subscribe the channel because that's what is important. Uh, and do share it with all your friends. Anything else which you want to add?
No.
Nope, we are
Hmm.
good.
Hopefully India wins.
Hopefully, India wins the
All the
World
matches
Cup or the
Yeah.
World Cup. Asia Cup is
Yeah.
not
of
ready.
Asia Cup.
Yeah.
All the matches that they ever play.
Okay, ever play. Okay,
Huge ask. That's a huge
I
ask.
mean,
that's
if
a
you
bit
want to wish for
optimistic.
something, you can, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for the day. Thank you very much. Do like, share, and subscribe. And we will be back hopefully soon for the Australia South Africa series and then the T20 World Cup, which is in Australia. India play Pakistan once again at the MCG. Thank you very much.